Peace, love, about her hair grease, y'all. Shot a Gemini attorney once again for an amazing video. Okay, so like I said, once again, I apologize for my absence. I'll be trying to do videos as often as I can, but I live a very hectic and a very active life. Okay, so but obviously I still want to stay consistent, and I just want to let y'all know, hey, I'm here and I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. Okay. So I wanted to do Why Your Relationships Are Failing Part 2 because I'm starting to notice or really psychoanalyze a lot of antics that are being dealt in relationships right now, or that are being exercised in the relationships right now. And so I really want to focus on the importance of forgiving your parents. Okay, that sounds so micro, or that sounds so insignificant, but obviously our parents in our early childhood plays a lot, as I stated before in the previous video, plays a lot into our relationships and one-on-one, or our intimate relationships and one-on-one relating just with others, period. So basic psychology, you know, when you go to a psychologist, basically, like I said, you pay all that money just so they can tell you, or just so they can bring you back to your childhood to analyze your behaviors now. So basically all psychology is analyzing subconscious patterns or habits through conscious behaviors. Okay, that's all psychology is. So our parents, right? Our parents obviously kind of work like our gods, you know what I'm saying? Our parents have so much control over our parents just have a lot of control over our minds, okay? Which is obvious because, you know, they were the first ones that taught us our mannerisms, you know what I'm saying? Like even children, a lot of children, they mimic, you know, the things that their parents do. And children take on really the ideals that their parents have instilled, okay? So like I said, for example, it's your mother or your father that's the one that's like, okay, a man is supposed to act like this, a woman is supposed to act like this, or, you know, don't put your elbows on the table, do this at a certain time, you got to go to bed at this time because A, B, C, and D. So obviously, you know, y'all get what I'm trying to say with, you know, early conditioning through our parents. So sometimes, but the negative aspect of that is sometimes we take on the toxic behaviors of our parents, or the toxic ideals of our parents. Maybe not directly by what they teach us, but just analyzing. So for example, you know, a lot of children, they see their mothers or their fathers have toxic relationships. Some women, they've grown up seeing their mother or their father bring in different partners and not having a stable life partner to actually build something with. So when you grow up looking at that, where you grow up seeing that all the time and being exposed to that, obviously that's going to make an imprint on the subconscious mind. Okay, this is how relationships are supposed to be. And a lot of people haven't seen relationships where they have two solid parents in the home who's actually building and cooperating and doing things to construct a family, basically. All right, so and then a lot of times, you know, our parents, they inhibit trauma on us, whether it's physical abuse, whether it's sexual abuse, whether it's emotional abuse, or just something as simple as maybe your parents not giving you the love that you thought you needed. Okay, because, you know, I can definitely attest to that myself, and it took me like a lot to actually figure out, you know, why I was acting a certain way in my relationships is because, you know, of kind of the patterns that my parents projected. And I had to realize at one point in time that my parents are just separate humans. They're just separate entities from me. You know what I'm saying? So really, that's in order to really, basically the first step in forgetting your parents is understanding that they are a separate entity from you, okay? And I know that's hard, and I know that's really that takes a really lot of detachment and kind of a objective point of view when looking at it. But if you truly want to move on, if you truly want to heal, you know, if you truly want to heal and really be the best individual you can be, so that you may have healthy, stable relationships that are conducive for you. That's kind of something that you need to adopt first, is recognizing that they are their separate entity. Just how you were raised by somebody else, and they were raised by somebody else too. Okay, so this is where and I'm learning too about breaking generational curses. That's kind of been something that has been kind of zoned in for me due to some interactions I've had recently. But that's really important, just learning how to break generational curses. Okay, so once you identify that your parents are a certain entity, they were raised by your grandparents, and those people, your grandparents, were raised by somebody else, and those people were raised by somebody else, so you have just a line of worst case scenario toxic ideologies or toxic behaviors that have been passed down from generation to generation, and nobody in your bloodline and nobody in your generation has taken the time to be like, damn, like, my family, I'm noticing a family pattern. You know what I'm saying? I'm noticing things that my family does in regards to love and relationships, even how we treat each other. You know what I'm saying? So that's really, really, really important. Okay, so after recognizing that your parents are a separate entity from you, they have their own lives, you have your own lives. Now this is like the foundation for you to be able to forgive them. Okay, so for example, if, like I said, you felt like your parents didn't give you the love that you needed, or you felt neglected, even if you've expressed that as you got older and they don't seem to receive it, you know what I'm saying, they are not taking accountability for that, or they do take accountability for that, now really it's really just up to you just to have that understanding, have that compassion, to know that they haven't healed from their traumas, or they haven't healed from the ideologies, or they haven't really separated themselves from the ideologies that their parents have instilled in them. Okay, but now it's really up to you to actually be that catalyst for change, within your family's bloodline, so that you can not have the same mistakes, and so that you can instill new healthy ideas or healthy ideologies, or just a healthy ways of relating consciously and subconsciously to your children. Okay, so if you have a parent that kind of doesn't want to take responsibility for the things that they've done to you as a child, or that you feel like they didn't give you the proper love that you should have received, at that point you need to exercise compassion. Okay, that compassion as in just forgive and forget and turn the other cheek. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about compassion is having an understanding and having just the objective point of view that they are not healed, because they are a separate human. They are a separate entity. Everybody has free will. Everybody has the choice to sit down and analyze and self-reflect on their subconscious patterns. But some people are really reluctant to do that, because some people are afraid to face their pain, or are afraid to face their demons. Okay, so once you really identify a pattern in your family, then it's now time for you to actually reprogram your subconscious mind, figure out, okay, so I didn't get this love from my parents that I wanted to, or my mother or my father sexually abused me, and they're not taking accountability for it. It's just really having what am I trying to say? It's just really about having the will to, one, practice self-love. Okay, just having enough love to the point where you heal yourself, and to the point where, okay, now that I'm healed, now that I have these new ideas, then I can be my best self. Because a lot of people, especially in the younger generation, have this ideology that and I'm just noticing this, like, they have an ideology that being crazy or being attached or clingy is a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not. Like, and people be joking and bragging, oh, I'm crazy, I'll do this, and I wish my man would, or I wish my girl would, I'll do this and this and this and this. Like, that's not healthy behavior, and people are just normalizing it now like it's funny or it's cute. That shit is not fucking cute. And at the end of the day, that shit comes from neglect in your early childhood. Okay, somebody somewhere down the line didn't give you the proper love that you needed. Now you feel like you have to compensate through other people. So when somebody threatens your sense of security, or when somebody doesn't behave according how you think they should behave, then that's when you want to flip shit or act crazy and slash tires and bleach clothes and all that shit. That shit's not fucking healthy, okay? At all. That's where that shit comes from. All that crazy shit people be talking about, just with attachment and being a fucking psycho. That's where that comes from, because somewhere, like I said, you didn't get the nurturing that you needed. Now you're looking for somebody to give you that nurturing. But when you subconsciously do that, you're gonna be extremely disappointed, because even if, like I said, even if your parents didn't take accountability for the things that they did to you, at this point in time, you can really understand and have, you know, that self-love to yourself. You have to love yourself enough to love somebody else. You have to love yourself enough to not rely on them from your own happiness, or rely on them for your own self validation. Okay, and I know that's really hard for a lot of people, but if you do want healthy relationships that don't require conditional means, or don't require you know, it don't require you losing yourself. You know, that's something that you really have to practice and you have to exercise, okay? So, like I said, a lot of times when we ignore these issues from our early childhood, when we don't address things that happen to us with our parents, we start to project. The inner child kind of comes out, because the inner child is not healed. So we start to project the things that we lack onto other people. And like I said, when people don't act in accordance how we do, or don't abide by our conditional means in love, then that's when it's a motherfucking problem. You know what I'm saying? And only the mature can handle this. You know what I'm saying? Only the developed can handle this, you know? And a lot of people are wondering, well, niggas ain't shit. Why am I not doing this? I give everything to everybody. It's because, you know, you're lacking something within yourself that you're trying to find through other people. And that's just not how, it's not going to work like that, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't give somebody that you don't have within. You know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of times we go on about our day, not self-reflecting at all, not checking on our inner psyches at all. So motherfuckers just running around, touching shit. It's like everything they touch, basically it gets destroyed, you know? So really that's it, because it's even, like I said, people 40, 50 years old who still do bullshit only because they're still mad at what their parents did at 12. And like I said, they're wondering why am I in the same situation? Why do I keep attracting, why do my relationships always go into a dead end? One of those reasons, like I said, may be trying to overcompensate for something that, you know, only you can provide yourself. It's as simple as that. Also, I want to reiterate too, like I said, I know it's not going to be easy exercising these steps and really having this objective point of view from our parents, and really relinquishing that control that they have over us even as we get older. But understand that you are in control of your own destiny, okay? What somebody else did because, you know, they haven't worked through their issues, you know what I'm saying? You are the captain of your ship, master of your soul, okay? So there is nobody standing in the way from getting the life that you want except for you. You know what I'm saying? It's not your mom, it's not your dad, it's not your grandmother who is in the way of achieving whatever it is that you want, whether it's a healthy relationship, whether it's financial stability, whether it's prosperity, whether it's a family, you know what I'm saying, a healthy family, healthy, solid family. Nobody is in charge of that. Nobody's gonna stop you from doing that but you, okay? So you have to have the willpower to be in the driver's seat of your life. You have to have the willpower to say, hey, I want to live a different life that my parents did. I want to be better than my parents ever were. I want to be a better parent than my parents ever were to me. And nobody can do that but you. Okay, a lot of y'all have so much power, and I think a lot of people are afraid to tap into it and are afraid to really do work like this, psychoanalyze themselves, because of how powerful they truly can be. So y'all really have to really understand that and really grasp that in order to not only transform yourself, but live the life that you want to live, that you know that you deserve, that you know is better for you. I'm saying, like, I can only speak on so much because I haven't had the extreme traumatic experiences like being molested and things like that, but I know people who have, and I know that it still lingers in the back of their mind, you know, and, you know, so those undealt with issues come with relating to one-on-one people. So it's really imperative that you actually want to sit and understand, you know, the role that your parents played. And like I said, if they're not willing to take accountability, if they're not willing to really walk the journey with healing with you, then it's really up to you and yourself to have enough self-love and to really fill the void that really was missing. So it's really up to you. And self-love, it's really hard for a lot of people because, you know, as children, like I said, a lot of people didn't get that confidence that they needed. You know what I'm saying? A lot of children weren't told, hey, you're doing a good job. A lot of children didn't tell, oh my God, you're the best at this, or you're really good at this. And a lot of people didn't get that as well. Like I said, not having confidence comes from lacking things that you lacked in childhood. Like I said, because some of our parents didn't give us, you know, the appreciation just for the little things that we did. You know what I'm saying? Because children are like sponges. Children are like, you know, children absorb everything around us. Like, that's like a fresh brain to mold. And a child, it's even improving in biology. Like, it's even proven in biology that an organism relates to, or an organism always interacts with its environment. So think of that as in the mind of a child. A child is going to absorb everything that is in its environment at the time. So whether it's, if that child sees actually a mother and father coming together, like I said, to work and to build and having a stable relationship, okay, that's going to be an imprint on that child to see, like, hey, okay, this is what relationships supposed to be. Or it can be something like, you know, my mother and father are always fucking fighting, mama out here cheating, papa a rolling stone, you know what I'm saying, and they always got partners in and out of the house. Every 2 weeks or so I'm meeting somebody, you know what I'm saying. So that's going to be the imprint on a child's mind of what a relationship is. So like I said, just all this shit is going on with people pretending like they crazy and all that shit. It's just, especially like I said, women. Like I said, and it seems like it's women who's doing that the most, because it is it's no secret that, you know, in the black community, black males are absent with their children. So it's really up to the mothers, who probably had the same thing happen to them in their childhood, an absent father. So that mother is actually exercising all that she knows because she didn't have a father. So now that child, when that child grows up to be 16, 17 years old or whatever, or even in their 20s, they're going to try to find, like I said, a man to compensate for that. Like I said, and I was one of those women. I wanted, at the beginning, I didn't have a good relationship with my father. And I had to realize too, like, my father didn't have a relationship with his mother either. So once I understand that the relationship with my father is only because he didn't have a good relationship with his mother, like I said, that's how I was able to exercise compassion. And no, my father or no, my parents are not, you know, perfect. But I'm learning to accept them as they are, because they're still learning how to really relate to me as their daughter. Because, you know what I'm saying, parenting is no manual to parenting. So you're only parenting based on what you've been taught from your mother and your father, you know what I'm saying? So once I understand that about my parents, it was very easy for me to forgive them, or it was very easy for me to have compassion towards them. So I do what I can to establish a relationship, and I do what I can to let them know, hey, you know, I forgive you. You know, I understand that, you know, y'all was young, y'all was in your 20s, you know what I'm saying? I'm in my 20s, so I understand I'm still trying to figure shit out on my own. So if I know I'm 20, still trying to figure shit out on my own, and back in 90, whatever, my parents were still trying to figure shit out, I can now have that empathy, and I can now have that compassion to, you know, to forgive them, okay? So really, I really just wanted to share this, and I really just wanted you to, y'all to really see really how important it is to really exercise compassion towards your parents, because they're people too. A lot of times we really forget that parents are fucking people. They're people just like us, who were raised by somebody else just like us. So with that being said, y'all, like I said, I just want to thank all my new subscribers who have subscribed. I want to thank everybody who's reached out to me in regards to readings and emails. Like I said, if I haven't gotten to your email yet or to your DMs, please give me time. Like I said, I just be all over the place. So, but I will most certainly get to that. I'm gonna leave all my contact information below. If you want to contact me about natal chart readings, birth chart readings, or tarot readings, please let me know. And with that being said, I love you all.